Good morning to you all. It's BG, and this is going to be our first installment of the Cars and Coffee series, something that was sort of presented by Paul over at Left Coast Models. And I've been watching everybody else's videos, and I thought, you know what, this is kind of a cool idea. I want to get on it also. So here we are, getting started with it. We're going to show you something here on the bench that we built many, many years ago. It was my very first foray into weathering, serious weathering. So it's not going to be up to what I would consider to be my current standards, but it was definitely the launching point and the beginning of the learning curve. So hopefully you enjoy it as much as I did building it. So let's go take a look at it. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a very different type of camera angle for me because they're doing work on our street out front, and the room I like to do my finals videos is right there on the street, and they're tearing it up. So it is extremely loud, and it doesn't look like they're going to be done anytime soon. So we're doing it at the bench here, doing an old school style when I used to have a blue background, which was technically a pillowcase. And yeah, since this is how I did the presentation on this guy here when I first did the final on it, years and years ago, I thought this would be kind of a fun way to go back. So there we go. So what we got here is the Chevy step-side pickup kit by Revell. We used the kit supplied wheels and tires with the little baby moon caps. I thought that was a good contrast for this blue color. The blue color is actually a Tester's, one of the little jars, enamels. That was a French blue, if I remember correctly, over I guess the best way to say it is a rust, not rust, but a red oxide primer, is a enamel red oxide primer. It's long since gone. I used it up on this guy here, and the roof is actually, if I remember correctly, that was white, just regular old white, gloss white Tester's jar paints. So this guy was built back in the day when we were still using the Tester's jar paints to do our airbrushing. And I did do a beautiful job with this guy. It was a beautiful paint job. And then I decided, yep, let's start weathering it. So we did. And this is what we came up with. Now, I remember we built this because it was part of I think it was a group build for building shop trucks. And that's why we have the BG logo on the side here, which we tried to weather also. And, you know, there is a bit of a contrast between the way the body looks and how the wheels and tires are. Those are pristine and clean. I kind of liked that look back then, but now I look at this and I think it's a little bit, I don't know, toyish. So if I was going to do this one again, I'd probably do a little bit of weathering on the wheels and tires just to distress them a tiny, tiny bit. But it does sort of look like the guy came straight from the tire shop after having new wheels and tires put on the truck. So there you go. The motorcycles, I built these for a motorcycle group build that was being hosted by Aries Styrene back in the day, and I didn't have any good place to put them, so they're pretty delicate little bikes too. So I put them in the back here, and we got the this little dude here. I don't remember what kit this came in. Got that little guy there, and then we got the this dude here, and I can't remember what bike this is supposed to be. I thought it was like a Husky maybe. I can't be 100% sure on that. But back here we have a toolbox that I had found in the parts bin and just tossed in there. Put some Go Faster stickers on that. And then in the back we actually have a piece of balsa wood that I scored to make it look like a piece of paneling that just got dropped in the back there to cover up all the holes. So I hadn't perfected my wood painting technique then. And then around back we got an Arizona license plate on there. All the chrome had been stripped off of this here except for the wheel covers. And I painted that with gloss aluminum. It was, I can't remember, I think it's TS17 gloss aluminum from Tamiya. And let's go around the back side here. So all this here was done with just sanding sticks and just trying to weather it. I like to say when you're doing the weathering on a particular model, you want it to have a story. It needs to have a story behind it. That way the weathering makes sense. There was no story on this. You can probably tell because it is just all over the place. So I was like, oh, here's a surface that hasn't been distressed yet. So I distressed it, that kind of a thing. And if I had a better story in mind when I was creating this, it would probably have more of a cohesive look to it. So other than just never having anything clean, internally or the interior wise, you can see we have a Mexican blanket over the seat, and that we got from H-Town Hobbies back in the day. Freddie's no longer making these, but that was actually a piece of cloth that had been printed with the Mexican blanket pattern. And I understand, I think STS Decals does something along those lines. I think there's somebody else out there who does it too, but I can't quite recall who does that right now. But they're still out there. You can still get them. And it was kind of fun to do that seat cover. It worked out really, really well. And I wanted to go back and buy more of those, but I bought it, and then I didn't use it for a couple of years. And then next thing you know, Freddie wasn't making them anymore. So there it goes. But also the shifter, you see the little yellow ball in there. That's actually a stick pin with a large plastic cap on the top of it. And I was using stick pins for a lot of my shifters because it was a lot better than what was coming with the kit. So there we go. One thing I am absolutely shocked about is the fact that the mirrors have stayed on this thing for all these years. This thing has to be about 7 years old now. Let's take a look under the hood and show you what we got going on there. And yes, I did paint the underside of the hood and weathered it a little bit. But here's our power plant. Let's see, maybe we can tip you a little bit there. Did do some wiring on there, some yellow spark plug wires, so we'd have some nice contrast between the red block. There's a little bit rusty and crusty in there also. And very, very rare for me, I have a battery with a red top, not a green top. And let's see here. So we did do solder headers on this guy, one of our earlier iterations of solder headers. That's a little bit delicate. Tipping them on the side there. I made the collectors out of shrink tubing, have a nice little twist to the headers to just give it some visual interest. And then the exhaust pipes are from some other the parts box, and then I added aluminum tubing to the ends to give it the little more authenticity. But you can see I was going to start painting that wood bed. I started on the bottom to try and practice that technique, and I very quickly went, nope, we're done, giving up. But you notice how clean it is up there inside the wheel wells. Yeah, that's the mark of somebody who's doing this for the first time. So missed out on doing that. Oh, I'm not going to see it unless I turn it over on camera and show everybody the bottom. But there we go. That there is the Chevy. I can't remember if this is a 64 or 65 Chevy pickup kit. This one was the one that had the green truck on the box art with the big mag wheels. But Mrs. BG was like, oh, do it blue and white. So I was like, okay, cool, which was kind of like the colors of my logo. So kind of fit there. But yeah, this was my little shop truck that I had made years and years and years ago, and did a lot of weathering on it for the very first time. I'd like to thank everybody for sticking through the video this long. I appreciate that extremely. And give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate that even more. And we'll talk to you in the next one. Y'all take it easy. Happy Monday.